Anyway, now we can start the recording. Hello, everyone. So, as you guys know, these live podcasts don't actually get saved, technically. I will be putting this on later on in an actual video, which will be going out before Easter, I'm pretty sure. And it's been a while since the last update, because being a Bayo-related podcast, it's kind of hard to find new things to talk about all the time.
Nothing's happened.
So,
basically.
Yeah. But since the last one, which has been December now, I think, that's been almost 4 months now. There's plenty to talk about, I think. And obviously you guys will also have some input as well and some questions, so I'm sure we'll figure it out. It'll be at least an hour. So, I don't know. Should we start taking this question first? Did I know about the glitch in John 4 fight where she summons a lot of wicked weaves? I don't know if I call it a glitch. Do you know what he's talking about?
Who's this?
So, Cruzada Kuhaku has asked, did you know there is a glitch in John 4 fight where she summons a lot of wicked weaves?
No, I did not know about that.
Yeah, I think basically if she's on a different bit of plane of gravity to you, she'll stay there and she'll just summon a shitload of wicked weaves. Like I've seen up to like 4 or 5, but she can just keep doing it forever.
Oh, so some kind of like loop that she gets stuck in.
Yeah, she just gets stuck in a loop and she doesn't like try to chase you or anything. I've managed to trigger it once or twice. I don't know if I call it a glitch though. But yeah, there is that glitch. I think there's a video someone recorded of it as well, which I saw. But yeah, so since December last year, the Switch port has come out. I actually don't have any experience with the Switch port at all, because I don't have a Switch yet, but Ursa has one. Yeah? You want to talk about it?
Sure, so going into the Switch port, I played Bayonetta 1 and 2 both to completion. I haven't actually unlocked everything in either of the games, but Bayonetta 1, I was actually surprised at actually how well the port runs. Compared to the Wii U version, I was actually expecting it to be quite similar in that it's pretty janky in a lot of areas. But the Switch is surprisingly, it runs pretty consistently. Even like some of the problem areas from Bayonetta 1 Wii U port are actually kind of fixed in the Switch version. So I don't know if they actually re-optimized some of the areas, but I remember like the Broken Sky Giant fight in particular just like chugged whenever the plane hit the ground. But the Switch version ran perfectly fine. That's in both the handheld and docked modes. So yeah, I was actually really happy with the quality of the port, but the Bayonetta 2 port I think is actually kind of crap.
Wow, really? I haven't heard anything about the Bayonetta 2 port.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the performance in the Wii U version for Bayonetta 2 I thought was actually pretty good. But I was actually playing handheld mode on the Switch, and there's some areas in the game that just are noticeably, like, you can see the dip in the frame rate. Particularly, like, the first chapter where you're in the open kind of area with the water leading up to the first like open corner. Yeah. So that area in particular just like was noticeably bad.
Well, that's really surprising.
It is, yeah.
That's like the first area you see in the game, and it's like chugging. Admittedly on handheld mode, I'm assuming on dock it's fine.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm not really sure how. Like, I heard there were differences between the handheld and dock version, but I thought it would just be like marginal. And even I'm pretty sure some people were saying that the game stays at I think 720p in both docked and handheld. So there shouldn't be much room for that much difference. But I have been playing the game mainly docked from now on. And it's actually it's not too bad docked. It's just the handheld that surprised me that it was that terrible. Because you'd expect.
Yeah.
That's the Switch's selling point, I guess. And like, I think they put more effort into the port of Bayonetta 2 than Bayonetta 1, but it felt like they actually did reverse, which just surprised me.
Huh, that is really weird. I mean, to be fair, being able to play Bayonetta Portable is pretty cool.
It is, which
Not
is
that I've
actually
experienced it.
yeah, it's actually like I actually haven't found myself playing the PC version that much lately, which
Wow.
It's just because
Okay.
just because it's so convenient to pick up and play Bayonetta in bed, you know.
Sure, yeah, I understand that.
And the performance isn't so terrible that I want to go back to the PC version just yet. So it's like, I'm actually really happy with it. So
That's pretty cool. Do you ever get that problem though when you play with handheld things? I remember playing with like the DS or 3DS where you lie on your back and you're playing and it's like
you just get
on your
cramped.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my problem is on my shoulders. Like I always feel really cramped. Like I don't know how to sit properly with it.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing actually that I wanted to talk about was the Switch is so uncomfortable compared to the Wii U.
So I'm assuming, so the default controller, which are those two little, what are they called?
Joy-Cons.
Joy-Cons.
Yeah. Silly name.
They look rather uncomfortable.
They like, I guess they're what you'd expect them to be like. The buttons are kind of small. It doesn't really have like a firm grip like the gamepad had. So
Yeah.
it's and you can't play it for extended periods. But then I guess the battery doesn't last that long anyway. So
Yeah. Okay. How long does this is just general hardware questions? How long does it last?
I've heard that I think it's like average 3 to 4 hours.
I mean, that's pretty good.
It's decent for
That's
what
a long session on the toilet.
Yeah, yeah. Like I haven't had a session that long yet, but even just after an hour, my hands start to cramp. And I just have to put it down.
So I'm assuming there is like an actual proper controller you can buy because fuck, giant Joy-Cons.
Well, yeah, there's supposed to be a Pro controller. I don't have one, but it does come with a just like a little kind of peripheral that you can plug the Joy-Cons in.
Oh yeah, that thing that looks like a dog's face.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So overall impressions of the Switch, pretty good. Like, do you reckon Bayo 3 on the Switch is going to be the same sort of problem?
Well, I hope that if it does have problems, it's not performance issues like that Bayonetta 2 had. Just because it'd be a shame to have a game kind of stuck on a system that can't even run properly, you know? Control-wise, like, it just takes some time to get used to it's just muscle memory, I guess, getting used to the controls. Like, there's nothing inherently flawed about it.
Yeah. Huh. Like, I can't imagine being stuck to play on those Joy-Cons, because when I play on the Wii U, I play typically on the gamepad actually, and actually it's more comfortable than playing with the Pro controller.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I'd agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I guess I'll say. Someone's asking, Prince of Durendal? I don't know if you're aware of it, but rumours have been spreading that Bayo 3 will be more likely released in the summer. I personally doubt it. What do you think? I mean,
as in this
summer being this summer in July, roughly? Because that's totally not going to happen.
We haven't seen anything of it, so I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I really doubt it. And E3 is June or July? Is it?
June, I think.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll hear something, but I don't know, I think it's probably too soon. That will only be 6 months since they actually teased it.
Unless if you mean our summer, which would be...
No one ever means Australia. Which would be a whole year from now, roughly.
Yeah, well, I don't even see it coming up next year, to be honest. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not going to come out even until... It probably might be summer next year, or 2020. I kind of want to give them more time to develop it because I guess theories have been floating around about why Bayo 2 was the way it was from certain perspectives. And I think a large part of it may be just because they didn't have enough time to polish it, because there are some questionable decisions that they made for that game.
they had a decent amount of time though.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what you think. Like, but I'm not even sure how long Bayo 1 was in development for.
Yeah, I get the impression it was pretty long. Like, they seem to have prototypes dating far back to when the platform was founded.
Yeah. Like, practically from when they first founded PG and they had that deal with Sega. It's like, okay,
I don't know
we've got time to develop this. Yeah, I don't know, but either way, because I think you get the impression Bayo 2, actually it's a bit hard to say with Bayo 2 because they started developing it after Bayo 1, but then it got cancelled. and then Nintendo picked it up again, so maybe it was more like 2.5 years or 3 years.
Yeah, I wonder how much they actually already had developed before Nintendo picked it up.
Yeah. And whether it was still the same deal with Hashimoto directing it, because I attribute a lot of the problems that players like us have with the game with decisions made by Hashimoto more than anything else.
Or Hashimoto.
Yeah, I feel bad for shitting on him because it's a really good first effort, but it's just not good enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was something like he got put into the director role after it was picked up by Nintendo. Because if the game was dropped, then I imagine like whoever was directing it at the time would step down.
Yeah. It's all speculative at this point. We don't know. We didn't really know, and we still don't know who's going to be directing Bayo 3. And
we don't know. I have a feeling it is just from the ways I keep on Twitter, but don't want to get ahead of myself.
I know, it's like, why do you not want to talk about even who's directing it? Don't we deserve to know that? Like, the very first teaser for Bayo 2 teased who directed it, and it said Kamiya was supervising it, so why is it so hush-hush this time?
It's like, considering how little information we actually have, it seems like that should be like the one piece of information we should have got by now.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, come on. Come on! I just want to know. Although, to be fair, like, if Kamiya does direct, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a better game, but you know his quality control personally is going to be better. Like, everyone's got different standards, and clearly Hashimoto was quite happy to hit visual stuff, and maybe not necessarily more gameplay stuff. Again, it is a bit of a read in Bayo 2, but Bayo 2 does look and feel good for most people. You doubt Kamiya's directing Bayo 3? Don't say that, Pace Maze. That's
what is that?
Pace Maze, I doubt Kamiya is directing Bayo 3.
Oh well. Even if he isn't directing, like, I'm still interested in seeing whoever is.
Well, yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens with the story, but I kind of question the game's ability to be a good Bayonetta game, if you understand my meaning. Or, I guess the definition of a Bayonetta game doesn't really mean anything anymore, because we have one game which is more traditional hack and slashy, and one game which is more casual based, so maybe it will be a between of that. How come Joy is the only old angel to not come back? Well, they didn't bring back...
Irenic?
Yeah? Yeah, the car ones. You need to care about car ones too.
The car's the best one, come on.
Yeah. Did they bring back Ardor? They didn't, did they?
No. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of angels they didn't bring back, so yeah. Joy was good where she was.
Considering that Joy was probably like the most popular angel that they took her back.
We hope Bayo 3. I mean, I think most people hope Bayo 3 has good gameplay. Like, I think everyone now who understands the perspective that myself and Ursa come from, I'm assuming you come from the same space, is that to keep Bayo 2's changes but make the gameplay a little bit more polished. That's all I want.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen some pretty impressive gameplay videos for Bayonetta 2.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I have seen those too.
It's just, it's not the kind of gameplay I personally enjoy. So, you know, I don't...
Like, there is one... I do mean literally singular one video where I've seen it's like, oh okay, that's kind of cool, but at the same time it's also frustrating to see the limitations that the game puts on you.
Yeah, it feels like they're fighting the system. If you're talking about I think FrozenDmC.
I think FrozenDmC.
Yeah.
Can I put it up? Maybe? I think I might have put it in my favourites, but basically it's actually a video that doesn't use Bracelet of Time to juggle enemies and stuff. And they talk about in the comments about how they've done certain things, so there's certain weapons that actually have juggle properties, but only specific weapons. And that to me feels like, okay, so if you want to actually juggle enemies, you have to use a certain set of weapons, which already is kind of shit.
I don't think I knew that.
Sorry?
I don't think I knew that different weapons have different juggle properties.
So for instance, I think it's not Witch Twist, but you know you know how there's the afterburner kick, and then in Bayo 2 there's the punch version? So I think that attack, I forget what it's called, I think that attack with the guns and maybe Rakshasa can actually give enemies height.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very specific.
How bizarre is that? That seems so weird.
Why can't I find this person? Damn. Is it in my favorites? It's gonna be really annoying.
Just went to look for something. That's all.
Either way, Witch Strike. But yeah, that's probably one of the only videos which actually is, I think, a legit good Bayo 2 combo video, even though like 50% of it is just cutscene. I fucking hate that.
I did see that one, yeah.
Is it in Bayo videos? Bayo stuff? No, that's my Bayo stuff.
Here, I've got some candy if you want.
So Chigoman23 asks, so Yosh, if you would want to add any sort of mechanics to Bayo 3, what would you want to add and how do you think it will work and what do you think needs to be removed?
Strawberry, I think.
Hey Kitty, I've got some yummies.
Salamandra? Okay, oh, hi Daedron.
Is that cat your friend?
So, yeah, Daedron is also one of the fellow We Hate Bayo 2 kind of party. Check out his videos. I'm assuming you're a he. I'm making assumptions here.
Saying that, look, I have seen Daedron's combo videos for Bayonetta 2, which was also one of the other impressive ones I've seen.
Yeah,
when the game first came out, I think it was.
Yeah, very early on, way back in 2014. I think. Fuck. Okay, did this thing where I lost my train of thought. I think half the problem with Bayo 2 is that there just aren't that many combo videos for it. Like I think the literal number of them is maybe 20, like actual combo videos rather than just people just pressing buttons randomly.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, and that is a big problem, I think.
And also, I've noticed that they tend to use the same enemy type. I've seen that Allegiance Force used.
Yeah.
Like
it's always Allegiance. It's sometimes a training dummy as well. There's like just certain. Is it Hideous or Hatred? Any one of those people? Yeah. So just your basic Mook enemies. Like it's a good video. My only problem is it's 50% cutscene.
Well, yeah. Usually I would complain about something like that, but if you have the chops to back it up, you know.
Yeah, but this is like a almost 7-minute video, and it's like 30 minutes of cutscene and whatever. Okay, I'm gonna link.
Oh, you found it?
Actually, yeah, I found it. Can I even add a scene for it? Maybe. You know what? Whatever. I'll just do it in the actual video, maybe. Do I want Umbran Portal Kick to return in Bayo 3? Umbran Portal Kick was pretty good because it had iframes, so it actually could be used for certain things.
I liked it.
So maybe something. I liked it. It's a cool way to do it.
It's a neat looking move.
Yeah. The one thing I never use actually that much is the breakdance move. Like it's hard to use, I think.
Would you want them to get rid of it though?
I think it's just part of Bayonetta's personality almost. It's a case of the game, the lore dictating the gameplay, because you know Bayonetta's personality is like that, but at the same time, we don't know if Bayonetta is going to be that way.
Like I feel like the breakdance you rarely get an opportunity because it's just so slow. At least for me, but it is one of those things that when I do see people use it in the combo videos, I keep forgetting that it's there. So I'm always
like, oh yeah, that thing exists. Yeah. I was jealous when you shared that video of that one person doing an ultimate combo on Boulder. What? What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's actually take a quick squeeze of this video. I'm gonna add it to the source.
Wait, do you have, sorry, I've just got the YouTube chat, I don't think I have the Twitch chat as well.
Okay. I mean, it's all the same anyway, you'll see. I'm trying to download this video now. Frick. This is faster than to do it that way. Twitter vid. I share so much shit on Twitter that I don't keep track of it. Either way. Sorry, we're kind of getting distracted here.
I can't think of any video with ultimate combo or boulder.
Also, which boulder are we talking about?
It's funny, Daedra just said, don't bring back air combos after it's not fair for the enemy to get juggled helplessly. I'm sure he's saying
we could yeah, he's saying that facetiously. We can talk at it forever about the terrible things he will say on game packs.
But that's the thing I want to actually mention is, when I was playing the Bayo 2 on Switch, there's actually, you can actually keep, I think, Grace and Glory stun locked in the air by just mashing P over. And you can do the same with the Space Demon, the Hatred or Hideous or whatever. And so, it doesn't make sense that, you know, it's not like they have this philosophy that you shouldn't just juggle enemies. Yeah, it's just inconsistent.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Bayo 2 is incredibly inconsistent, but you know, I think most Bayo 2 defenders will say, no, you're wrong, you don't know shit, you're probably really bad at the game.
Just mad because it's different.
It's not mad because it's different though. Chapter 4 in Bayo 2. Which one is that? Is that the boss fight? No. Just trying to remember now.
Oh, it's the Lumen Sage one. Yeah. The two.
Oh, right. Yeah, the two meat. Yeah. I hope everyone's read my terrible blog post about why Bayo 2 is shit.
The aesthetics one? Is that the only one so far?
That's the only one so far, and I think, as I said on Twitter, I'm gonna write more as I go, so it's not like I've got everything planned out, I just know roughly what I'm gonna cover.
I felt like the first person objective.
I'm not trying to... I'm trying to be, like, removed from everything, and I tried presenting everything from just a sense of facts, and someone literally replied saying, no, you're wrong, Bayo 1 was much harder to see. It was all red and grey, which is complete bullshit.
Well, there are some sections of Bayo 1 that's just muddy as hell. It's like, it actually does make it pretty hard to see some things.
Yeah, I mean, the game, I think I did say, you know, there are instances in Bayo 1 where that does happen. It's not like it's completely, you know, perfect, but as an overall game, Bayo 2 has a much worse problem with it.
Bayonetta 2 is over the mountain, but especially with the chapter in Hell where you're fighting Boulder. Like,
yeah, I was gonna bring. Yeah, sorry.
Terrible.
That's
what I want to say.
I was gonna bring it up, but it was like, and then it became kind of rambly. It's just like, yeah, in the Hell chapters, it's all reddish, and then all the enemies are reddish? And purplish, and it's and it's a little bit hard to see shit. Yeah, someone was kind of butthurt about how my opinions on just the aesthetics. It was a little bit much. Ah yes, aside from the limited attacks and aerial battles, which don't matter anyway, I feel like when your response is, when it includes, it doesn't matter, then you're already lost. Which don't really matter all that much since they are simply an addition to a game that offers everything Bayo 1 offers and more. Your points boil down to, I can't see this enemy properly. Which is hardly any criticism since I experienced this way more in Bayo 1 than Bayo 2. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like it's very subjective here when you have bright on bright and bright on dull. It's not exactly something that's subjective.
I'd be interested in seeing what sections they had trouble seeing Bayo 1. Because for the most part, it's pretty good at.
Yeah, I mentioned the Burning Ground chapter, which is fire enemies on fire, which I can agree, that's hard to see. But apart from that, I can't really think of very many. My eyesight is shit, and I had no trouble understanding what was going on the lost side of my Bayonetta. Like, my experience... it can be kind of frustrating reading Bayo 2 opinions, because it kind of comes across as very... I don't want to use the word ignorant, but...
We just did.
It's like, I don't want to sound racist, but... that kind of thing.
It is pretty anecdotal, like, when it comes down to it. Like, people can say,
yes.
I felt this way when I played this game, I felt this way when I played this game, but there is a
Yeah,
lot of...
and
and
as I said, these opinions don't negate your own opinions. It's just that I have literally been asked to do these things. Basically, my opinion has a little bit more weight than yours, so sorry. That's the truth. Sorry, bitch. But yeah, I mean, I don't think aesthetics-wise, I've painted the game particularly in the worst light. I've used like some pretty good examples from both games here. Like, someone please tell me if I'm being a little bit biased here. I have tried to present it as evenly as possible. How is the Game Facts board going anyway?
I haven't checked it in quite a while. I've seen you post some things on Twitter about opinions, but I don't think it's that active anymore. It seems to have died down quite quickly after the release.
I mean, when did it come out again? Was it
February?
Was it
mid-February?
Yeah, was it February?
Yes, that's been
so it's been like over a month. So yeah, it kind of died down, huh?
Which is a shame, because it had such a kind of strong start. People on Twitter posting things. But
I do find it kind of funny how Kami is just retweeting all the Bayo stuff, though.
yeah. Well, that's kind of why I'm speculating he's at the helm of Bayonetta 3, just because he's kind of back at the head of the series again or something. But who knows?
God, it's just too much to hope for, though.
I mean, it could be like a dual directorship thing, maybe? I don't know if that's a thing.
Maybe? We really don't know at this stage, because we always talk about the same things on stream. It's always about who's doing Bayo 3, Bayo 2 is shit, and what are Platinum Games currently doing.
Yeah, it's a bit tired. We don't have anything else though.
Yeah, that's why these podcasts take ages to come out, because I run out of things to talk about.
Just think in another 3 months we'll have E3, and then we'll finally be able to talk about something.
I mean, I could just release videos without commentary. I could do that. It's just I thought maybe that, another playthrough could have sustained more commentary, but I'm just being completely wrong on that part. What if the director isn't either Kamiya or Hashimoto?
I'd be interested in seeing what someone else can pull off.
Who else at Platinum Games directs?
I think Saito, Metal Gear Rising.
So he did Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah, I don't know if is he still there? I have no idea.
That's true, because a couple of people since the first days of Platinum Games have left now, like the guy who did Vanquish, I think. But yeah, what if the director isn't either one of them? It could be interesting.
Could be the person who did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I never played those, but all I heard there was shit.
Well, me neither, but I hear great things about it.
Yeah, great things. Like, I think, you know, because it's a platinum game, it's going to be a platinum game, so there's going to be a certain level of polish in it, but it doesn't necessarily mean good gameplay depth. And I think players like ourselves have issues with Bayo 2 because it was so heavily weighted towards looking good and feeling good and not really following up with mechanics or anything.
Yeah.
So it could just be a case of them making it look pretty again. Because it could be like Nier. Nier was really good, but I don't think gameplay-wise it was pretty deep.
But then it never really aspired to me, did it? That's the thing, like, I always see how people tout Bayonetta 2 as the greatest action game. It's like, well, no, it's not, really. But even, like, all the trailers were pointing it out as that. It's like, the greatest action game. It's like, well...
I mean, I couldn't even call Bayo 1 the best action game, but it is for me. Like, you can never make statements like, oh, this is the best action game, hands down, full stop, no arguments.
Right.
Like, statements like that are so stupid.
But that's what it's trying to be, though. It's trying to be an action game. Bayonetta 1. Bayonetta 2 is also trying to be an action game. It just doesn't really seem to succeed at that, so...
Yeah. I mean, it would pretty bad to make this comparison, but I feel like Bayo 2's got more in common with, like, God of War kind of style gameplay.
I've never touched a God of War game, so I can't really say. But I guess you mean more button mashy stylish.
Yeah, it encourages more button mashy gameplay, and maybe you could find one combo to like mash all the time and you win. Yeah, I think people were really keen to see what Itsuno is doing because people really want to see a DMC 5. Wouldn't that be crazy though if like managed to get Itsuno to direct Bayo 3? Then it'd be like DMC 3.
Did he do DMC 3? I have no idea.
I'm actually not sure because I've never played a Devil May Cry game. But imagine if it was that though.
That'd be interesting.
Because then it would be literally the same as the Devil May Cry games in terms of.
Said he directed Devil May Cry 2.
He did 2?
It says he did 2, 3, and 4. All as director.
Huh.
But
isn't DMC 2 shit?
That's what I thought. But then I think he took over for someone else though at some point. I think.
Huh, okay. But wow, that actually sounds pretty amazing if he were to do Bayo 3. Like, imagine if Bayo 3 is a DMC Bayo crossover.
Well, that'd be cool.
I think the internet would collectively shit its pants.
I mean, I personally wouldn't care because I haven't played DMC.
Yeah, it's all speculation at this point. But we can only hope Bayo 3 is going to be good. And I can't wait to look back on this podcast in like 2 years' time and be like, man, we were so wrong.
We were so naive.
Oh, one thing which got brought up, which people have been playing around a lot with more, is the PC mods.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that kind of sort of exploded once you sort of found out how to change the models around, right?
I think there was someone on. There's a board where people have been
the Zeta boards or whatever.
I think it was mainly Kiril or something. I think his name is
Krelian, I think it is.
Krelian.
And now a lot of mods come from Creative Handle.
Krelian as well as Kiril. Yeah, and Creative Handle as well as like someone who I've seen doing a lot of mods recently. Some pretty impressive ones, I have to say.
I've not modded my game at all. I'm just boring like that. Like, they all they really do is just change models around, don't they?
That's all I've seen so far. I don't think people have actually managed to import custom models or anything like that.
Like, obviously there's never going to be a case of, like, adding in Bayo 2 movesets or anything.
I don't know, actually. Like, I would have said no, but I think... I don't know, but, like, isn't it just animations? Or would they also have to import, like, hit properties. I have no idea. But then if Bayonetta 2 has a similar pop to Bayonetta 1, maybe that's possible to do.
That's true. Yeah.
Like they did get the Bayonetta 2 models in, so I wouldn't say it's possible.
Can I say though, the Bayo 2 mod in Bayo 1, I actually prefer the outfit there because she doesn't have the hair at the front.
Yes, I agree. But saying that,
Yeah.
I still don't really use it just because it's not the full costume. I prefer it, but it's not really complete, so I don't use it.
Yeah. Like, none of the mods, for me personally, I have seen and said, I really want to use that. Like, it's fun watching the videos and everything. And if I ever do a PC playthrough, I will have to showcase them. But on a personal level, I don't really find many of them that interesting.
Yeah, but there's some ones which they managed to do, which I thought should have been in the game in the first place, which is like the Cereza mod, where she's the Jean kid.
Oh yeah,
the young Jean.
I didn't realize that was actually like a mod.
Yeah,
like,
I did see.
I did see. Yeah, I did see screenshots of the baby Jean, which is good. And would it be cool if Zero had like a Zero baby?
Oh,
that was always moving all the time.
Well, they have the little zeros, don't they? So they should have just used that.
Yeah. And I think the community, quote unquote, has been sort of going crazy for that Jubileus and Sheba mod. And the Jean 4 fight.
Oh yeah, I have seen that video.
Have you seen that one?
I have. Did you see the one where it's the Jubileus boss fight at the end? Where
it was a giant Jean?
Yes.
Yeah, that's something.
That weirded me out big time.
It was pretty weird.
But it's cool that people
just
can
makes
do that
sense
in the game now.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, because one of the big finds in the last couple of months in the game was that weapon switch what do you call it?
Oh, the glitch. Yeah.
Like, you've played around with it?
I have played around with it. Not much because it can crash your game. So, you know, you'd have to keep restarting the game every time you try a different.
Yeah, I swear to God, on my Wii U, it takes longer to actually boot up the game and do all that. And by the time I crash my game, it's like, oh, I gotta do it all over again.
Does it? Just curious. Does it actually work on the Wii U? The Switch thingy?
It works on the Wii U.
Oh, okay.
Which I remember, I looked at the original video and I remember the poster saying, the OP saying it didn't work, but then I think he removed that comment because it does work.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Same sort of deal.
Yeah. It's interesting that we've only just discovered it now then.
Yeah, and because a lot of people didn't really use the touch controls.
Yeah,
it was like it's nice to have that, but we have never used it.
But you think even less people will use it on the Switch because the Switch doesn't have a stylus or anything. Like the touch controls are literally like just they feel tacked on because you have to use your fingers, and I don't like to use my fingers on the Switch screen because it's smudgy.
Yeah, no one likes touching their screen unless it's their phone.
But yet, no, I haven't actually. Because the one I really wanted to try it with was the nunchucks, but I haven't unlocked those yet, so I ran out of interesting things. But I did see someone manage to get like Kilgore Bullet Climax or something, so you can.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
I really want to try that on Rodan.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to show it in the next couple of recordings I do, because it's pretty crazy. And as long as you pick the right combination of weapons, it won't break your game. Like the very first combination of weapons I tried using when on my Wii U, it broke the game. It's like, oh, well, that's disappointing. Like as soon as you, sorry.
When it crashes on the Wii U, what does it do? Because on the Switch, it pretty much just says this game has encountered an error, and you go back to the home screen.
Yeah. It actually just locks up the Wii U.
Oh, completely.
Yeah, I think I actually got some weird artifacting as well on the gamepad as well.
Oh,
but you
nice.
have to you have to hard reset, like press the power button and everything.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Actually, that's another thing though, is that the load times on the Switch as well. I haven't had any issues with load times. Like, I've never felt like I was waiting there for ages. But I've also...
Yeah, I think I complain every time I go back to recording on the Wii U, is that the load times are ridiculously long, because I've been so spoiled now by the PC version.
Like, it's not as good as the PC version, obviously, but, like... Just, I have mine downloaded straight to the console, so I don't know if it's just, I don't know if it will be any different with the cartridges, but as far as I'm concerned, like, load times are pretty good, like, they're pretty okay.
Oh, okay. Did you get the Climax Edition?
No.
Or did you just buy Bayo normally?
Just on the eShop. I couldn't be, like... I couldn't justify buying the Infinite Climax version or whatever.
It's so annoying how the special edition came in 3 flavors, and only one was really worth getting, and it was the Japanese one.
Did you get the Japanese one?
I did originally, but it was from like a dodgy place, and I was like, you know what, I don't need another physical version of Bayonetta, so I cancelled it and I got the Australian one.
Okay, what's...
So the difference is, there's a European one, a Japanese one, and an Australian one. The Australian one has the Japanese packaging, but the contents of the European one. So the European one has just a physical copy for Bayo 2, a download code for Bayo 1, and the metal case and the cards, and I think that's it. Oh, and the stickers as well. Whereas the difference between that and the Japanese version is it has the physical version of Bayo 1. That's literally the only difference, and people paid, I think, at least $100 more for that.
Jesus, I didn't realize there were that many different editions. I thought it was just the one.
Yeah, I kind of wish there was just one, but I'm assuming because of licensing or just different regions in Nintendo, they just do it different ways, which is annoying because the packaging for the European one is really nice. And that's the only place you see that artwork, which is the one I've got up at the moment.
The only one I'm seeing is the one with the red and blue, and you've got the 2...
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that the Japanese one?
Yeah, so the one with the red Bayo 1 and the blue Bayo 2. Yeah. And then the back of it is the same thing with the Jean. And it looks kind of cheap, honestly. Because I quite like this artwork that I've currently got up at the moment. But yeah. So, loading times are pretty good on the Switch then.
Well, we can't complain. Like, I don't know how it compares to other versions. I would say it's better than the Wii U. Worse than the PC, but that's not saying much because that's like a huge gap between the two of them.
Yeah.
It's probably on par with 360, I guess. I haven't touched 360.
Because I haven't touched my Xbox version in a long time, but I got a hard drive and I installed it to hard drive, and it's pretty fast. Not quite as fast as the PC version, obviously, but damn fast.
Yeah, I've never had issues installing to hard drive, but I think I've heard that cartridges are pretty much the same in terms of loading. Like, cartridge will install straight to your device. Not going to get that much more speed, which is good because I think both the games have already used up all the storage on Switch. Bit pathetic.
It's really amazing how bad the Wii, and it annoys me how you can't install the game to hard drive as well.
What's that? Oh, if you have the physical version.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know why that's
that really is annoying, because on your Xbox you could do that. That's what made it a lot faster. Like, I think it almost cut the time in half for loading.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing we didn't talk about was the concept art with Bayo dressed as Dante.
Yeah, I was like thinking, did I miss this in the original concept
That's what
art?
I thought,
Because
yeah.
it looked like it came from the Bayo 1 art book, and I was like, no, this is fresh stuff. And it's like, whoa, damn, Mari, you're the best.
I was like, a new art book for Bayonetta 3, just getting me excited.
Maybe it's actually a teaser about what the third game is gonna be like, and it leads more to the whole idea of maybe Itsuno will be directing it. Maybe.
Oh, it could be. It
could
seems
be
like
on-
a sneaky
it could-
thing Kamiya would get Shinzaki to do.
Yeah, it might be. Oh my god! But there wasn't there like an anniversary reason for having that artwork as well?
I've got no idea.
Hmm.
I gotta say though, like, she looks pretty dorky in Dante's outfit.
I need to pull up the artwork again because I don't fully remember it.
Yeah.
New costumes. Like, do we want to see more Nintendo costumes? I personally wasn't a huge fan of them, but that's because my own personal bias.
I don't think can they really add anything to Nintendo costumes that would make them interesting. Like, I think we already got like the main ones there.
Yeah, you pretty much got the main ones that you would want. And the fact that, you know, you got the Bowser Wicked Weaves or the Parry accessory. I'd probably say the Samus one is probably the most useless.
Yeah, I don't know, like, does they actually have... What does it have in the second game? It's got like the bombs. If you're the Panther mode. But I don't know if those are actually useful.
That's only for Bayo 2, and it drops bombs which are like really, really weak, and like probably not worth using.
Okay, so it's not like the rosary bombs.
Oh, here's a question for you, because this is kind of going to tie in into one of my later sort of blog posts, is do you think the different guns in Bayo 2 actually have any difference? So the difference between, say, Love is Blue and the R-Wings.
Oh, the R-Wings?
Is there actually a difference? Yeah.
I've heard people say there's differences, but I've never actually tried it. I've really used the Star Fox outfit. But I've heard people say that the R-Wings have a... either they do more damage or they have a higher fire rate, so you get more damage output. I have read that they are different, but...
Yeah, I've read that too, but I can't really verify that, and I don't necessarily believe it, to be honest.
We don't believe it. You gonna test it, or...?
Admittedly, no. I haven't tested it, but it doesn't seem like there does much of a difference. I think people way back in the Wii U Game Pack boards were looking at the points, because in Bayo 2, points is directly correlated to damage. So I think they did more damage, but I'm not 100% sure.
Look, that's the thing, like, I just thought they would have been a skin, like, straight up.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So, Chicken Man says there is a difference. Like, what exactly is the difference? They do more damage? people with the chat are saying they do more damage.
Wait, what's this? Look at the wiki, it says they also have unique properties. Instead of using magic, their elemental damages energy. I don't know what that means. Since when are elements a thing in this game? Each R-Wing also features the
like, it's not like, say, the difference between, say, Scarborough Fair and Bazillions, because they actually have different properties from their bullets, as opposed to this one does more damage. Thanks for doing the hard work, Daedron. I only asked because I was trying to figure out for one of my next topics to write on whether or not you can really say Bayo 2 has more weapons. So some people will say that Bayo 2 is better because there's a larger weapon variety, and they list off literally every single weapon that's possible. But the problem is, not all weapons are applicable to all characters. So it's like a question of, is this really a valid argument here?
Well, okay, so there's one weapon set that Sean can't use, and Rosa can't use anything. So, I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's a fair argument, I think, because I think the way the game is expected to be played will be as Bayonetta, I guess. But saying that, it's still a shame that Sean doesn't have any equivalent for Love is Blue.
Yeah, I kind of don't know why they didn't give her the Love is Blue moveset. It seems a bit odd.
Yeah.
But then they would have had to give her own guns or some other sort of reason to say, yes, you can do this.
They literally could have just done, like, all for one again, except with the feathers. You got the different... Like, I would have been happy with that.
Scarborough Fair is overpowered in 2?
Yes.
How so? How so? Like the Umbran Climax is crazy on them.
Is it that much different from
Let's see.
Love is Blue though? Because like I'm thinking the combos that you have the leg sweep combos, but the leg sweeps don't do anything in 2, so I don't really see how it
Yeah, they don't. Like
to
me,
you got the extra.
you can treat, say, Unforgiven as separate because it's a weapon that only one person can use and it has different properties. It's like saying in Bayonetta 2, Scarborough Fair and All for One are 2 different weapons. That's what they're kind of saying there to me, and I don't think it's really a valid argument.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, I've seen some dumb people argue that.
Well, I guess they are kind of different because they're different characters and the characters play differently, but that's kind of a very stretched definition. I don't know, I actually wouldn't classify Unforgiven as a weapon set at all. I just say it's part of Rosa. Just say that
it's just
kind of like
it's just a person.
Yeah. Okay.
I do think Bayo 2's variety way is better, like how back forward P is not always a Tetsuzanko, but the problem is those moves are so shit you don't want to use them anyway. Yeah. Like I completely agree with that statement. It's like the whole they didn't go far enough with everything in the game, and it kind of looks like they didn't have enough time to sort of flesh it out more.
Yeah.
Like I don't believe anyone looked at PG, looked at Charge Bullet and said, you know what, this is good to go.
You hate that Charge Bullet.
It's like so offensively bad. Like, what does that move even? It doesn't deserve to be in that game at all.
So yeah, the Tetsuzanko thing, like I think I've said it before, it's like a neat idea, but the fact that it removes your ability to do the instant wicked weaves is just, it's not worth the trade-off, I think. Even though instant wicked weaves in Bayonetta 2 are useless anyway, it's just they're still more useful than those really weird dodgy riposts or whatever you get.
I think the dodge moves are interesting, it's just that the fact that you can only trigger witch time off of them if you're Bayonetta is kind of lame, and why would you use this move if you can just dodge is kind of the big one. There's literally no advantage other than to say, aha, I dodged it using a Tetsuzanko move.
I think it might actually, I think if you successfully dodge it does like a wicked weave like instantly, so I guess you could say it's, so you get like a...
No, that's the thing though, like with Rexhaza or oh god, I'm terrible with the Bayo 2 names. The Scythe, I think also the Hammer, and I would say Salamander as well. When you do it successfully, you don't pull off a Wicked Weave, it's just a dodge move.
Really?
Yeah,
Are you
it's
sure
just a
about
dodge
that?
move. So, yeah, I'm pretty certain of it.
Interesting, because I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I've got a Wicked Weave from it, but I don't know. Someone test it.
It's been a long time since I played Bayo 2, that's my excuse.
But
I'm
even
pretty sure.
even then, like the fact that Infinite Climax is kind of so hectic, you still want to use them now.
Yeah, you do, and so in that case, you kind of just want to stick to the ones that you know there are Wicked Weaves.
Exactly.
So on the topic of the R-Wings, their shots deal a bit more damage. With the R-Wings I can kill with 4 Ps, with Love is Blue I have to do another P to kill. Okay.
It's weird.
It's like a very...
That they make that
okay,
change.
Then. Sorry?
It's weird that they would make that change for whatever reason.
It's like such a minor difference as well. Like you would have thought they would try and make them a little bit more distinctive in some way, other than just looking and sounding. Honestly, the sound they make is really annoying to me.
seems like a recurring theme though, that the Nintendo outfits are overpowered for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, because everyone who knows how to play the game equips Mahakala, of course the Link costume is going to be OP. I hate how they changed Shiraba's to Tetsuzenko in Bayo 2. You know what? I think the Tetsuzenko in Bayo 1 was probably overpowered.
That's what made it so fun.
Yeah, it is fun. But it's also... I can kind of see why they would have tried to change it, because you can just literally go through the game with PKP or Tetsuzenko's.
Isn't the PKP still the same? I'm not sure. Was it just the Tetsuzenko that they changed, or was it also just...
They changed the Tetsuzenko, so instead of doing a sweeping slice, it would just sort of...
It's like a vertical one, isn't it?
It's like a vertical slice that travels, which is a bit odd. And then the PKP, I think they weakened. They made it a hell of a lot weaker.
Okay.
Again, it's been a while since I've played. Oh hey, Krelian, we were just talking about your mods earlier. So, yeah. I've been doing my toes into both Bayo 1 and 2, and I don't know yet if 2 is better than 1, but something I like with 1 is how flexible the magic system is compared to 2. Oh man, it always kind of ties in together with the blog post I'm gonna write, because...
What's your next blog post about?
Well, the next one I'm writing is about difficulty in terms of how each game does difficulty, and also even just looking at the hard numbers for verses. Because I talked about it very briefly in the first post about how it's actually very easy to get platinums in the game for Bayo 2, but actually very much more restrictive to try and get them in Bayo, get pure platinums. And in that sense, it's like, okay, because in Bayo 1 you have a lot of flexibility in terms of your time and combo, in terms of playing around with shit, whereas Bayo 2 there's only one way to do it, which is do it fast and do it hard. So I'm talking about that. But the magic system kind of ties into the whole idea of that risk-reward thing that I've kind of touched on, I think, in the first post. Where, you know, you get hit, you lose magic, so obviously if you want to do well, you try not to get hit, you know? Whereas in Bayo 2, you don't lose magic at all, and you gain magic by doing lots of damage, and that's the only way you can really gain magic. Either that or taunting, and who has time to taunt, really? I like Jean's look in 2. Fight me. Fuck you.
I don't know.
Someone did change it to have a mod in Bayo 1 where they had her biker outfit with short hair, right?
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of it, actually. Although I have said I want to see Bayo in that biker outfit. Someone please do that. It would be amazing. Like, has no one done that yet?
They've probably done Bayo in the biker outfit as Jubileus or something.
Some ridiculous combination of mods and like, no, I just want Bayo in the biker outfit. Come on.
The thing that weirds me out about Jean the most too is just the hair color. Like it's so white, and her eyebrows as well. They just don't look natural.
Yeah, it kind of is hard to make white hair look good without looking like a granny.
She does look like a granny.
I mean, to be fair, she's like 500 plus years old, so, you know.
She probably is.
It does look a bit odd.
Like, I don't know if they... Like, maybe someone who's actually looked at the files deeper than I have. Like, I don't know if they've actually changed the colours of the textures, or if they actually... It's just like the lighting system they use. It's just... I don't know.
You mean her hair colour?
Yeah, the hair colour, and even the skin colour as well. Like, the skin is a lot... I don't know, just more detailed too.
Yeah, like, that's the sort of level of aesthetics which I didn't want to talk about. It's like, yeah, in Bayo 1, Bayo 2, XY looks bad, or whatever.
Right, that's definitely more subjective than, like, from the gameplay's perspective, though.
You know, you'd think surely, because the whole fantasy of Bayonetta and her hair is that she can change it however she wants, because women just want to be able to change their hair every day. Why couldn't you change your hair colour?
That'd be interesting.
Although,
it could be a thing.
It could be a thing.
They just haven't shown enough yet.
The witches discover hair dye and their entire life changes.
I feel like you just have, like... What's it called? Oh god, I don't know anything about hair. Like, when you dye your hair and the roots are a different colour, what's that called?
It's just regrowth.
Regrowth, yeah. I feel like that would be a huge issue, though.
I was thinking, wouldn't it be great if in the third game there was a bold witch and people would be like minds blown because how there's a bold witch summoning hair? Which was one of the more stupider arguments against short hair that I had seen. And I was still trying to download this combo video and it's not working, so fuck it, I have to put it in later. I forgot to post a link though, so I'll probably do that. Like, I am a minute into this video and it's all cutscene.
I remember watching it, I did have to kind of skim through it.
Like, this should not be the standard for a freaking combo video. There was a minute of cutscene and then one combo, and then there was more cutscene.
Oh look, he can play the game better than I can, so I'm not going to criticise him for his creative choices.
Oh, that's another thing I heard about Bayo too. I should probably make note of it so I can remember to write about it. Is how dizzied enemies don't. It doesn't change the enemy properties at all. Like you can have an enemy that's got stars around its head and you still can't grab them. I think.
Oh god, yeah, I don't know. I think you can in some cases, but it's like inconsistent.
In some cases, yeah.
Yeah, because I think I did try that the other day. I was trying to test out what the whip could pick up and in what situations, and it was hard to determine because each enemy was different.
Like I don't like to point at things and say this is proof, but the fact that there are so few combo videos and so few tech information about Bayo 2 I think says everything. Because I remember for Bayo 1 there was a whole lot of stuff that came out about it.
People just haven't done the digging yet, that's all.
Yeah, it's been what, 4 years now? People haven't done the digging yet.
Actually, there was one thing that I saw in your post that you brought up, which I was happy you did because it was something that I noticed when I replayed the game on the Switch was positioning. The way,
yeah.
Like I feel like the game has like conflicting ideologies on whether or not positioning is actually important. Because you got things like you have to be behind the horse enemies to actually juggle them to get around and parry, but then at the same time, so often you just get caught up against a wall by another enemy, and the game doesn't actually want you to escape that. Because like Panther is nerfed, so you don't have any momentum, you can't dodge, you can't basically run away, and then you've got other things like, well, a lot of the humanoid enemies actually, they have this a lot of them have this attack where if they're in close quarters with you, they'll jump back and do like a lunge towards you. So it's basically like a long distance attack, but they can do it anywhere.
Yeah.
So your position is kind of not important at all in this game.
It is kind of at odds with what it tries to show you with what you can do in terms of juggling, which, you know, everyone found out, whoa, you can juggle enemies if you get behind them, which makes sense in terms of trying to make the player care about positioning.
Yeah.
But as you said, like, you know, when you're fighting the shield enemies and you're trying to get around them so to hit them from behind because that makes sense because they've got a shield at the front, you can't because they just continually follow you. Yeah, they just pivot. And it's like, well, what are you trying to get me to do here? Salty man. I don't think I've actually watched any of his videos and was particularly impressed, but he is one of the white players who actually is trying to do stuff with Bayo too, so I can give him credits for that.
He seems to be pretty active in like doing a lot of tutorials on how to get maximum combo points and pure plat, which if you're into that.
Kafka. Someone replied to me on Twitter saying they wanted to see me like do a takedown of Kafka, and I'm not really sure if Kafka is really that offensively bad. It's just like the rest of the game, which is kind of not fleshed out enough.
It's pretty bad. Well,
yeah.
Like, it does have that interest. Like, it has like a unique stiletto string, I think it is. Like, it has like a unique kind of stinger sequence. Do you know about that?
Stinger.
So if you do the stinger, you can follow it up with like a couple of other punches, which is like unique to that weapon.
Oh.
But it's not.
I think I normally associate that with, actually, is it the stinger or the uppercut? Yeah, it's got like a melee move.
Yeah. I think the stinger has like a melee sequence after it, which doesn't seem that useful, but it's something, I guess.
Yeah, the poison thing is completely badly implemented. Like, okay, you can turn enemies purple, but there's no discernible actual difference to anything. Like, in terms of your damage or whatever, there's just nothing.
Yeah, I think I read someone say that poison, like, it will keep your combo meter going, but I don't think that's how it works at all. But that would have been an interesting thing if it like actually meant that you could sustain your combo meter going longer without worrying about it breaking.
Yeah. Like, once again, just... It's like they added it in for the sake of variety because, you know, the first criticism, and I will agree with this about Bayo 1, is that it had too many guns. It's like, okay, so what can we add that isn't guns? So we added more swords and more chainsaws because, haha, chainsaws. And, a bow. But it's not a very good implementation of a bow. But to be fair, I don't know how you would handle a bow in an action game.
Well, the angel bow in Bayonetta 1 was pretty good. Like, it was completely overpowered, but like, at least it did something.
Yeah, but that was an angel weapon, so it's kind of different. We're talking like a fully fleshed out weapon.
With combo strings and all that?
Combo strings and everything. Like, how does that even fit in with anything?
I don't know. Give it a
Yeah.
launcher.
I mean, we can talk about what we hope to see in Bayo 3 in terms of weapons, but I honestly really don't know. Chances are there's going to add more swords. I want swords on my swords. I want a chainsaw made up of swords instead of chains.
They'd probably do that, to be honest.
I can't really think of anything new they could add without sort of seeming derivative. Because, like, Undine in itself is apparently one of the more powerful weapons, but it just reads across as like a really shitty Durga. Do I like Tag Climax, and if I do, what characters and weapons do you use? I mean, ooh. No, I'm trying to talk about too many things at once. Tag Climax is okay, but I only really played it because of my LP. Like, is it still pretty active these days?
Yeah, I've noticed it's actually... I played it last night. It's like I saw like 6-7 people online, so...
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty active in the grand scheme of things, I guess.
I think I've said it on somewhere as, like, I don't really get the point of it, because it's just literally a mode that you mash buttons on, and there's not very much skill, it seems like, unless you're playing 3-star cards. In which case, it's like, eh.
It's more luck than not even skill.
Like, I think the main one that I would point to is the boulder card, because there's like 2 boulders, I think it is, or something.
I think it goes up to 3 boulders. 3
boulders?
In
Yeah.
that Inferno.
Yeah, 3 different boulders in the same thing, and it's just like a massive clusterfuck.
I was actually playing a couple days ago, and I haven't. You know how you get the Rodan card, like it unlocks at a certain point. Like if you
Yeah.
beat it, then you actually unlock the card for real.
Yeah.
So I haven't unlocked it yet. But the card came up, and so I was playing with this other person who was actually pretty good. And so the Rodan card comes up, and I forget how hard it was. So I set it to like 3 stars.
Oh
And we got obliterated, and then I just felt so bad. And like when it said, "Do you want to play with this person again?" I said yes, but they clearly said no. So I think I pissed someone off big time. But
It's like, no, you know when you're playing online, if you get any of those cards that you unlock, you just set it at no stars.
I was going to, but then I was like, well, no, because we're pretty good. I reckon we can pull it off, but yeah, we just get obliterated.
Yeah. A spear weapon would be pretty cool. I was thinking, kind of like in Nier, because it's got spears in that weapon, in that game. You know, pole dance moves, whatever, that would be great.
If you could do like that kind of teleporting stinger that the Sage does, that'd be cool.
I think honestly, if there isn't a spear in the new game, then they will have totally fucked up.
Well, that's like the only other thing they could do, really, that they haven't done yet.
Yeah, I can't think of too many other things they can do unless they want to kind of play off of Bayonetta's more sadistic side, which is like, okay, give her some bondage stuff or something. Saifang needs to come back? Depends how it fits in the game. Like, can you imagine Saifang in Bayo 2?
If wouldn't do anything, would it?
Like, I don't think it would work very well.
Well, the problem is, the thing that makes Cyberpunk so good in 1 was the bullet climax. If you use it in 2, then you'd probably use it with magic up.
Well, hopefully they wouldn't make it use up magic or something.
That's the thing I want in Bayo 3 is, if I want to do bullet climax normally, I can do it normally, but if I want to use the magic, then let me hold down like the Umbran climax trigger or something, you know? Let me choose to do it.
Yeah, do you think they'll keep Umbran Climax in 3? Like, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people complain if they took it out, so I reckon they're keeping it.
Yeah.
Unless if they can replace it with something more interesting, but I don't think they really could.
Like, there definitely is precedent to make it work. It's basically like Devil Trigger and DMC, but in DMC it actually makes sense with how it's implemented, and I think there's space for how they implement it in the Bayo series to not make it completely overpowered, which it is at the moment.
Because I haven't played DMC, but I'm not sure if like was Devil Trigger something that they got right off the bat, or was it something that they had to balance as the games went on? Like maybe it's completely broken in.
Like, I'm not 100% familiar with the mechanics, but I know that you have access to a Devil Trigger, but at the same time the enemies also have access to a Devil Trigger mode. So there's like a lot more to balance, it feels like, when you play Devil May Cry, because you have to think about, okay, if I kill this enemy and one of his buddies sees that he dies, and it's going to go into Devil Trigger mode and it's going to be a bitch to kill. So I think that sort of interplay would be very interesting. I don't know if they'd ever do it, because Bayo feels a lot more simplistic.
Yeah. I just feel like if enemies had like their own Umbran climax where the screen's just filled with their own wicked moves, that would be painful. So I don't want to see that.
Yeah, like there's no way, it feels like there's no way now they're going to ever get rid of Umbran Climax in the way it's implemented, because, you know, the entire screen being filled up with wicked weaves is pretty iconic now.
Iconic, but not good for gameplay.
Like, honestly, the only way I would improve it is that you have to have, which they already have, it's got to have a minimum requirement to trigger, but it also has, you can also switch it off and on very quickly.
Yeah.
Because there's like a 1 second also cooldown on it at the moment, which is really shitty. So you can use it, like, I can use specifically an uppercut one to actually, you know, get an enemy into the air, and then I can keep it in the air if I just continually do it. Which would have already fixed a lot of the problems that Bayo 2 has if they had done it that way.
Yeah, maybe make it so that it's like the bracelet of charm where you have to hold down the button to actually use it so you can quickly trigger it on and off.
Yeah, like, just something that isn't just basically face rolling with your controller.
Also, if they do bring back like the huge wicked weaves and that, though, I feel like they need to do something so that you can still like, I don't know, like I would like an option so I can see through wicked weaves, like enemy outlines.
Yeah,
wicked weaves or something,
yeah,
just
that's a big one as well. Because there was also the problem was audio mixing as well, which again kind of feeds back into the whole idea that maybe they didn't have enough time to polish everything, because yeah, the wicked weaves can obscure audio cues from yourself and your enemies, which is shitty, really shitty.
Which shouldn't be a problem, because if your wicked weaves are actually hitting, you shouldn't
Yeah,
have to worry
yeah,
about enemies attacking, but they just phase through it constantly.
Yeah. Oh, so many things wrong. I'm so sorry every time we record it just ends up being Bayo 2 sucks, but it really does.
Well, it's out on the Switch now, so it's a good refresher.
Okay. The Retrospective. The problem is now I have to carry this retrospective on for another 6 episodes, I think it is. It's like 16 or 18 videos.
What,
so it's
what
like
chapter is this
trying
one?
to Chapter 10, so Sea of Stars.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
No, it's not.
We're about
Ursa,
halfway.
who is better? Bayonetta, Rosa, or Jean? Go.
Oh, okay. I prefer to play as Bayo. Rosa is overpowered, and Jean is for better players, but I don't find her as fun as Bayo. Does that answer your question?
Jean really is broken in Bayo 2 though, because she basically plays like how you'd expect Bayo to play in Bayo 1. Like her wicked weaves, her wicked weaves do more damage, and I'm pretty sure she gets more witch time in Bayo 2.
Yeah, she does get more, because I have noticed that, but also, I don't know, because the witch time, like the moth within window is kind of extended on Bayo 2, so I guess it's kind of evens out. Like, she's not super hard in Bayo 2, but...
No, because they've widened the window to get moth within, so it's super easy to get witch time with her. And
yes.
Because you can actually moth within all attacks now, unlike in Bayo 1, which I can admit is a nice change. Like, I'm pretty certain you can't perfect parry that bite move from Fairness. Pretty certain. I have never been able to do it.
Do you mean the air one?
Or any of the bite attacks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Either of them.
Like, I've never been able to escape from the air one.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe it's like a really, really, really tiny window, because I remember a long time ago someone saying, yeah, you can do it. It's like, really? Never seen it.
It's probably just people making up crap again.
Maybe. So what was I saying? Yeah, Jeanne is pretty much just... It's easier to play as her, and it actually still is a bit of a challenge as opposed to Rosa, who is just broke as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, really broken. I don't think there's any reason to... Like, if you were looking at it from like a trying to pure plat everything easily perspective, there's no reason to not use her, because she still gets the combo points despite doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, just don't get hit and you'll do good.
Yeah, and everyone knows how to not get hit now, you just quit out to title screen. I think that's one thing that people have mentioned, which I would like to see in Bayo 3, is like just a restart checkpoint option.
I don't know, because I feel like quitting to the title screen is part of the punishment of not doing it perfectly the first time. Yeah. But then, at the same time, it's not really, the only person you're punishing is yourself.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's kind of hard to sort of balance the whole pure plat sort of audience and just the people who just want to play Bayonetta for the story, for whatever reason. Because I feel like there shouldn't need to be such a massive divide between the two players.
Yeah. Who looks better, Joy or Jubilaze? Joy. Jubilaze is ugly. In my opinion.
Jubilaze is kind of eh. I like Joy's design. Who plays Bayo for the story? Well, there is a large community on Tumblr who do exactly that.
I like the story. I don't play it for the story, but I like the story.
You know, I'd be hard pressed to say whether I like the story or not, because the story is kind of just meh.
Well, the story's shit, yeah, but I still like it.
Like, it's not so much about the story, but the characters, and there's like, I think a lot of people play Bayonetta for the characters more than anything.
Yeah. Character. Well, I think when I first started playing, the characters were the main reason I started playing. And it's like, oh, the gameplay's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I play the game for Luca, obviously. So, yeah, in summary, Bayo Switch, better than the Wii U. PC mods, good. Bayo 2, still not great. That's pretty much it, isn't it? And Bayo 3 is still just speculative at this stage. We can't really say anything about it.
Yeah, the weapon switch glitch is fun if you get a chance to try it out.
Oh yeah, the weapon switch. Yeah. I feel like I didn't quite get to talk more about that, because the one thing I wanted to try was adding Odette animations to everything, but that breaks the game.
The one thing I managed to get working with Odette was you can slide around on like you have the skates equipped and you can drop Durga bombs without any like delay between them, so
Oh, okay.
it's pretty fun.
Like, I didn't get to play around with it too much, but I'm pretty sure the whip animations also break it. Like, any of the 360 moves kind of break everything. So yeah, I also had to retrospectively go back into my challenge videos and say you can't use this glitch. Because I'm pretty sure you could do those challenges a lot quicker if you could use that 360 Kilgore glitch.
I didn't think about that. I want to try it.
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, I think... Oh god, more questions. Do you think Bayo would die in Bayo 3? It's been a long time since I sort of sat down and analysed that video.
I don't think they'd do it. I don't think they'd kill her off.
You'd think they wouldn't kill her, but it's hard to say. It's really hard to say.
If they kill her, they'd bring her back. That's rough. Like, I don't think, because the endings of Bayonetta 1 and 2 are never like super tragic or anything. They're usually pretty light-hearted, so to have a character death would be pretty weird.
Well, I think we've pretty clearly established that the Bayonetta in the trailer is not actually Bayonetta. Either that, or it's Bayonetta before she is Bayonetta as we know her from Bayo 1 and 2. Because if you take the whole very shaky lore that Kamiya has established, she got that mole from doing a certain thing, which is implied to be losing her virginity from Kamiya's perspective. But if you look at it from there's like a certain video that's floating on YouTube about facts about witches or something, that, you know, witches have moles because that's like a sign of their power or something. So who knows whichever one it is.
I don't know, because I remember that Kamiya hinting at that whole thing at the end of the Bayonetta documentary, but that scene always threw me off because I was like, I didn't know what he was getting at, but he said it in such a way that it seemed like I did think it was like her losing her virginity, but I was like, well, that seems a bit...
Yeah, I mean, I remember being very confused as well when he said that. I was thinking, what is he talking about? Because apparently I'm just completely naive. And someone was saying it's her losing her virginity, and I'm like, really? Because he also implies that Jeanne doesn't have a mole. So he's calling her this.
Well, I guess
he's calling her like some 500-year-old virgin. Which would also sort of cut the whole idea that moles equal power when you got your witch power or whatever. I mean, I think it's all just part of dumb Kamiya headcanon rather than actual official canon. Like, we can't really say everything he says is actual canon.
Yeah, I reckon, like, if the mole has no significance, like, they're just retcon anyway, like, nothing's stopping you from just changing what the mole
That's true.
means.
That's true. She's a wizard. Oh my god. Okay, that's true now. Jeanne is actually a wizard. She's been
Wizard
a
and a
for
witch.
like 500 years. Yeah, it seems like it might be a different timeline, or maybe like a prequel, maybe? I don't know. Or something. Because it does look like she does die at the end of that trailer, huh?
I guess that's what it could be, dying. That's what gets in the mole, but it's really... Could be anything.
Well, I guess we just gotta wait until maybe E3 and maybe we'll hear something. I remember people being quite excited about that Nintendo Direct a couple of weeks back, saying, oh, we're gonna totally hear something about Bayonetta. I'm pretty sure we're not gonna hear anything for about a year.
Oh, and I reckon we'll hear something at E3. Like, they would, surely, like, what else do they have to show off? Because, let me think, the Bayo 2 was revealed, I think we got the next trailer like 3-4 months later for Bayo 2, so I reckon we get something.
What was the next Bayo trailer? Because the first one obviously was the classic gun one.
It was a development update, like they're showing off.
Oh, yeah.
So even if it's just that, I don't know if we'll get gameplay though.
I remember being so hyped when I saw Umbra and Climax being trailered, thinking, yeah, it's gonna be great. Oh, so much regret. Well, yeah, I think people on the subreddit were speculating because Helena Taylor hasn't actually done work for Bayo 3 yet, that it hasn't gotten very far, so we won't hear anything for a while. Also, someone posted on the Reddit how there's like a weird bug in Bayo 2 with the Bowser fists.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I haven't actually tested with that.
Like, so for people who don't know what I'm talking about, so Satriel on the Bayonetta subreddit has said, so whenever I've been playing Bayonetta while wearing the Peach or Daisy outfit, the Wicked Wii from the PPPKP combo somehow doesn't have a hitbox. Or a hurtbox, like is hurtbox actually a real terminology? That's been happening every single time. It shows Bowser's fist but there's no grunt, so it completely whiffs and does nothing. Other combos like PKP, PP, PPP, PPKP and PPK, pause PP work just fine. With any other outfit where Wicked Weave's arm and demo butterflies, there's no problems. And it actually is replicable, so there seems to be a weird bug in Bayo 2, which kind of is weird. I mean, you think about it because those outfits are just basically a palette swap, so why would there suddenly be a problem with the hitboxes?
Yeah, oh, that's weird. I've never heard of that before when I read that post. So I don't know if this has actually been an issue that other people have experienced, or...
Maybe their quality control's really gone down the shit.
Well, they did the automated testing tool thing, which
That's
didn't really
true,
turn out that great.
But I think, to be fair, from my understanding of that automated testing tool, is that it's just really just testing like out of bounds stuff rather than gameplay stuff, I think.
Well, even that didn't work that well though, because you can do that witch twist forever.
That's true, yeah. But that may be going under a more gameplay kind of like
probably,
bit of testing.
Yeah.
To be fair, that kind of Bayo 2 is pretty janky, isn't it, in terms of how broken it is.
Yeah, I guess Bayonetta 1's pretty janky now, discovering, so...
I think that's pretty much all we can really talk about, unless there's other questions or topics that people want us to talk about. I might start doing a sign-off. By the way, guys, if you want Bayonetta earrings, this is a plug for me, for my shop here. If you want Bayonetta earrings, please look at my Etsy shop. There are earrings for Bayo 1. So, Jeanne's and Bayonetta's earring from the first game.
And I can vouch they're good quality. I have a pair. They're nice. They're shiny. I don't wear them, but they're nice.
Yes, if you ever want to cosplay as a Bayonetta or whatever, they're there. And they're cheap-ish. They're pretty cheap. In comparison. Anything else? I guess as a sort of general update, streams are kind of just whenever I have time, so don't hold your breath for those. I think actually for maybe the next couple of retrospective updates, I may just do either solo commentary or no commentary at all, because I can't think of anything else that I want to say about these games. Yeah. Anything else you want to say, Ursa?
No, I don't think so.
Anything interesting on your channel other than playing with that weapon switch? No.
No. Don't look at my channel. It's a mess.
Alright then. So thanks everyone for coming by. I will try and have this video up by end of the week. And keep your eyes peeled on my Twitter account for more information about possible later podcasts. Like, I really don't know if I'm going to continue doing these podcasts because we don't have anything to talk about anymore. There is
Sorry.
nothing, there is nothing else I can cover anymore, unless I want to go like do basically live stream versions of my Why Bayo 2 Sucks podcasts posts. Maybe that's probably the only other thing I might want to do. So yeah, just stay tuned on my Twitter. That's probably where you'll get information. So yeah, thanks everyone for stopping by. I hope you had have a good Sunday. Hopefully, I think it's most people having a good Sunday. And have a good Easter, because by the time this comes out, it will be Easter. So have a good Easter. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully there'll be stuff to cover after E3. Yes, then we can actually maybe spurge about stuff. But that will be 3 months from now, so that's perfect time.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Alright, good night everybody.
See ya.